And all of these roll into a bigger story, which is where we are right now, which is what we call our Trader of the Year. Now, I'm under a fair bit of pressure here because it is a decent, well-trodden and very, very powerful lineage on this. If we go back a couple of years ago with Michael Petruno down in Adelaide, Michael's not here today, but you would have seen his comment on the Facebook feed this morning. How to go from being a tradie to a trader, huge story, massive guy, contributes constantly to what we do. If we look at last year with my good friend, little darling Susan over there. Hey Susan, say hi. Great story and a wonderful achievement, and this year's results are backing up, so we're going to see you back on the dais again. So there's a good, strong lineage, very, very different stories for people. And this year's winner, and this is a very difficult thing to do because some people like recognition, others don't. But recognition from your peer group, your equals, the people that are in the trenches shoulder to shoulder with you, is about the most important validation you can have for the journey that you're on. And this year's story is quite different. This is someone that's traded and invested previously in their past, and to an extent has maybe regained their mojo and taken it to that next level. It's a surprise. No one knows what I'm going to talk about now. There are only two people who knew what I was going to talk about today, God and myself, and God only knows what I'm about to say, but that's another story, right? This person doesn't know they've got the nomination yet. And this is hugely powerful. Why? Because it's genuine, it's sincere, and it's based on hard yakka and real numbers. So to that end, I'd like to invite upon stage to receive their award and, more importantly, their recognition from their peer group, from you guys, this year's winner of our Trader of the Year nomination. And that winner is Mr. Carl Chambers. Come here, my friend. Come on up, Myron. Give him a round of applause, guys. It's Carl. Come on up, my friend. Grab a seat. Congratulations, buddy. It's a massive achievement. Grab a seat, my friend. Grab a seat. Well, very pleased to be sitting here at the Advanced Options Bootcamp with this year's Trader of the Year 2021 winner, Carl Chambers. How you doing, Carl?
Awesome, Andrew. Thank you, and thanks again.
Absolute pleasure. Many congratulations.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's been a very interesting and successful couple of years.
Look, markets are there, the opportunity is there. Unfortunately, so many people in life are closed. They settle for their lot, and they don't see the opportunities there. Tell us about how the last couple of years of trading have been for you, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, no, I guess got back into it after speaking with Mitch, and as I said, after seeing you in the seminar in Auckland about 3 years ago.
That was with Robert Kiyosaki?
With Robert and that sort of wealth seminar group. So that inspired me to get back in. I had trade covered calls before, but not extensively, and so I was quite interested in sort of getting back in, and the whole objective was to replace an income, and that certainly achieved that, and then more recently into the advanced options to I guess just expand the knowledge and get into those more intricate trades, and that's been really good. Yeah.
I guess people talk about the most important investment, I guess, is in learning. I guess in this instance, you weren't brand new to the world of trading when we met. It's something you've done in the past, and had you parked it to the side and sort of let it go for a while, or?
Yep, like probably most people, I had some good learning curves, and I you touched on it today. Sometimes things happen and it goes in the cupboard, and it goes, you put it on that back burner. It's pretty much what I did, and I brought it out a couple of times over the last 10 or 15 years. But I found with selling real estate and other things, bringing up kids, I probably didn't have the energy and the focus to put into trading to achieve what I wanted to achieve. I didn't want to dabble. But yeah, the timing was right, and I was right place, right time.
Good stuff.
Out of real estate and into trading, and it's been a good journey.
A move from real estate into trading, and maybe a little bit more time to focus on it, and maybe some more structure. So how have some of the processes or some of the teachings, I suppose, that we've provided helped you get back on the rails and to achieve what you've achieved?
I guess probably one of the biggest things is and not physically being accountable, but it's so easy to I think when you're purely on your own without anyone there in the background, it's easy to make excuses and not have that accountability. So I think that even though there's not that sort of day-to-day contact, I think the accountability helps keep you on track. I think it also keeps keeps the discipline up. I think discipline's probably sort of a lot more important than motivation, but it definitely keep the discipline up. And look, there's always something to learn, and I've learned some really good stuff, and I've put it to use, and it's and it's come out. And I guess my psychology is I never see anything as a loss. So even my losses are just
been a learning exercise.
Yeah, and
that's huge.
And they're just part of the success. So I think, I'm sort of. I think I've got the right mindset for trading, and I don't stress with the money. So
I think that lack of emotion or emotional attachment to decisions is crucial, because for anyone that's new to this journey, you're going to make mistakes on the way through, and you can't beat yourself up. You've got to push past it and use it, as you say, for a learning exercise to grow.
Absolutely, I think it's you can't, no matter what you do, is you're going to have you can't win 100% of the time, and you said it today. It's and it just confirmed it. As long as the progression is upwards, the blips don't really matter, and that's exactly my philosophy. So so that's and long may continue.
I sincerely hope so. The groundwork is done, the skills are there, the discipline is there. So let's talk about the journey, the blips growing in the right direction. Tell us a little bit about your results for the 2021 year.
Okay, so that was probably the first half of that trading year was covered calls. That was overall. I mean, look, I guess it was a year when it was hard to get it too wrong. It was an upward market, but the covered calls were pretty successful overall. I had some good success there, and then I brought in some of the strategies, the more advanced strategies. Not too many, but enough to diversify that and get some
move the needle.
Yeah, exactly.
So to that end, I mean, the markets were up 25-30% over the course of the year. Your percentage return last year was sort of 81?
It's closer to 90.
Forgive me, closer to 90% for the year.
And that was more than what my goal was. My goal was, in all honesty, when I started, it was 30% a year.
Right.
Then I moved that to 50. And
healthy progress.
Yeah, and then the 90 was more than that. So. Which was fantastic. Really happy with that.
And dollar-wise, definitely a full-time income for you out of that?
Yeah, absolutely. It was, I put a decent chunk in there, and to almost double that was pretty happy with that. So it was a little over $300,000.
$300,000 profit for the year.
Yeah.
Part-time.
Yeah.
So for you and Mandy, tell me a little bit about what lifestyle looks like at the moment. Obviously, real estate's done in terms of selling it and moving into a transition phase of a nice passive income and plenty of time to enjoy it. Tell us a little bit about what that looks like.
We've always been involved in property in some forms, and we're still a little bit involved there. So that sort of, but that's coming to an end. We've sold down most of that, but that's great. I think that gave the foundation for taking risk and seeing that the rewards come. I guess going forward, COVID has probably gave us a good opportunity to sort of put a few things in place and a few priorities. And I know it's a negative for a lot of people, but I find it hard to see. I'm an optimist, so I try and pull the positives out of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess going forward we're going to be doing a bit more travelling. We're actually talking about maybe spending some time in Australia and maybe Melbourne. And yeah, just more time to focus on I guess us. And so, yeah, more time for golf. And for me, I can't. I don't think I'd be doing 40 hours a week in the trading side of things.
No. What sort of hours do you put in now? Is it 8, 10, something like that?
Yep. If you bundle it all up, including doing like listening to podcasts, I probably put in 12 hours a week, so not too much, but I'm sort of quite focused.
That's not a bad hourly rate. So 300 grand plus for a 12-hour a week working week. A lot of people out there are naysayers and go, it can't be done, it's not possible, it's all a casino. What would you say to someone that's sitting on the sidelines or perhaps watching this in some form somewhere around the world, in terms of don't let your obstacles get in the way? What sort of advice would you give them about this approach to investing and trading to create income?
Oh, I think it's I think without doubt it's probably the best vehicle for you're right when you say the money is the outcome. I think it's the journey that where you grow and where you learn, and that's what it's all about. The money is just the results. I think it's it's an exciting journey where the rewards more than compensate for the time that you put in. And I think it's like anything. If you enjoy it, I've always had an interest there even before I traded. So I think it's if you enjoy it and you're lucky enough to find it's there's an element of naturalness about it. I think I would find it hard pressed to find anything else that I would prefer to do with my time.
Well, that's a huge thing. You've done a bit in your time, as all of us, as we become more, let's call it, experienced in life, have done. And sometimes we think if only if we had our time over again, what would we do different? That's an impossible dream sometimes. But looking back now, had a bit of time in the wilderness with your trading. Maybe if this is something we pegged back 10 years ago, how would things sit now?
I would be. I would have been trading as soon as I left school. I think.
Relate to that.
Yeah, I mean, look, no regrets. What I've done, I've really enjoyed. What I have done. But I think had I discovered options trading predominantly many years ago, I would have been doing it right then. And but hey, it's never too late, and plenty of years ahead to carry on. So
glad to hear it. And obviously last year, nearly 90% profit, over 300 grand in terms of cash terms. This year, how are we travelling along?
Yeah, this year we're about half of that, just under half.
Mm-hmm.
So still pretty good. Found it a bit more challenging this year. I think but
so we're talking about maybe about a 40% gain over the last year. 45, something in that sort of order versus the previous year?
Yeah, probably more like 35 to 40.
Okay, and this is in a market that's down 20%?
Yeah, yeah.
So 20% drop in markets, 35% gain for the Chambers account.
Yep.
I'm not seeing the problem here, my friend.
I think it's. I think there's opportunities there, and it's one thing I struggle with is trading to the downside. So I tend to trade wait for those dips and trade to the upside. Something I've got to get my head around because I think there's some good potential to the downside, but still overall pretty happy with how things are going.
I think you should be, and I think repeatable results come from building a process, building knowledge, building confidence, building discipline.
Yep.
And to go from a trade of the year and then into another strong year, particularly in more challenging market conditions, is testimony to your skill, your humbleness, your fortitude, and the way you approach this. So on that note, I'd like to just congratulate you one more time, Kyle Chambers, the Australian Investment Education Trader of the Year 2021. Never know, you might be taking out the 222 as well, my friend. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Andrew. It's been a pleasure, and certainly enjoy what I'm doing and with you guys. So it's couldn't recommend options trading. You know, with AIE high enough, to be honest. Very authentic group of people, and so it's been a great journey, and many years ahead, hopefully.
For sure, we appreciate you being part of our ecosystem. Again, massive congratulations and thanks for the endorsement to it. Sincerely appreciate it.
No, thank you, Andrew. My pleasure.
There you go. Done and done. Go and put your makeup on now, mate.
Thanks,
thanks a million for that.
You should have warned me. Would have put my shirt on.
All good.